All right, today we are going to talk about molding energy and creating your reality on a whole new level. So, recently I've been really breaking through with my ability to flow energy, my ability to flow vibration, in a way that serves me and in a way that aligns with my desires. And I've been feeling very unstoppable, let's say. So, I guess I'll tell a quick story of what this might look like. Like I'll use a real life example. Uh, so a few weeks ago, I booked a flight for me and my lover back home. We were in Thailand hanging out, and I had to book some flights back home. And in that moment, I didn't really have as much money like as whatever. So I sort of just um quickly booked flights, and I booked a really cheap flight for myself, and it was like 45 hours long or something, right? And a typical international flight is usually like more like 24-ish.
Mhm.
So it was like double the length. So I felt a little bit worried for a little bit. I was just like, damn, like I really struggle with flying, like as far as like it's always uncomfortable, like on my back, like and it's so many hours being at the airport, it's pretty uncomfortable. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run some energy on this topic. So, before I would clear some resistance, I would release some negative thoughts, but and I would do some affirmation work, but I wouldn't do like that much. But this time I'm like, okay, let me do like in the 2 weeks between, let me do like 2, 3 hours affirmations or whatever. So I just started doing affirmations on the flight, like, oh, I'm having the most amazing flight. I'm so comfortable. The flight is just so amazing, so much entertainment. I'm feeling so well physically, mentally, everything. And so the few nights before the flight, all of a sudden I got the impulse and this realization that like, okay, so basically my flight was scary because I was going from Bangkok to Manila in the Philippines, which is like a 3 hour flight, and then I have a 10-hour layover. And from that 10-hour layover, I have an international flight to LA, and that's like another like 13 hours, and then I have another 10-hour layover to Minnesota, and then I go to Minnesota, and then I have another 6-hour layover, and then finally back home. All of a sudden, it dawned upon me because I'm in that just different vibration. I was like, whoa. I was like, this could work to my benefit. What if I get a hotel at each of these locations? All of a sudden, it's like I don't have a really long 20 something hour flight to one place and just feel so tired and stuff. All of a sudden, I see an opportunity. I'm like, wow, I'm actually breaking down a very long flight into 2 days, and I could take breaks and go to a hotel and sleep and take showers and explore the area a little bit. Like so, all of a sudden, I look up hotels in the Philippines, and I find one for $13, and it was like a special deal that they had going on. So I booked it, and it turned out amazing. I got to see what Manila is like, feel the vibes, took a shower, stayed at the hotel, like felt amazing. And then I hop onto my international flight to LA, and I always struggle with those flights, but that one I felt good the whole time. And this is my first international flight experience where I felt amazing the whole way through. There was not one segment where I felt like, like this sucks. Like usually like 90% of it feels like a huge mental drain. It feels like mental hell, like. But this time I felt amazing the whole way through. And then I get out of the flight, and then um I book into a hostel in LA, and I was doing before the hostel I was doing affirmations like, I'm gonna have the whole place to myself. I'm very taken care of, whatever, whatever. And I get there, and then the lady drives me. She picks me up at the airport, drives me to the hostel, and there was a few women. There was some women there, but they stayed in the women dormitory. So I had a whole male dorm to myself. No one was there. I was taking the long hot showers, sleeping, texting my friends, like having a good time. And then I slept so deeply, felt so refreshed, went to the airport, hop on my next flight, blah, 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 blah. At each step of the way, it was so amazing versus before it was nothing like this. And I always get stopped at customs, like, and they always there's always some type of problem there. But this time, like, yeah, I continue doing affirmations. Like, while I'm waiting in line at the customs, I'll just run some energy to what I want to happen. And then everything just started flowing, and then it was just like, yeah, and then I would get through so easily. So I've tested this many times where before customs I don't do affirmations versus me doing affirmations, night and day difference every single time. So my point being is, this is just one little example, but there is no more luck, there's no more chance. Like, everything is vibrational, and I am at this point where, because I have free time all day, I just have so much space to run energy on any topic that I like and really tap into the vibration of anything that I like. And so today I'll give you a formula on how to do that. So literally any segment in front of you, let's say you go into a job, let's say you're about to go on a date, you're about to have a business meeting or wherever, like, there's no more luck. There's only tapping into the vibration ahead of time and really sort of molding that vibrational ball of energy. And then because once you do that, you really feel unstoppable. Because, like, for me, this was the difference between barely getting any clients, where it felt like a lot of people were calling me, like, about booking me, versus like, and then they kind of like, oh, I'll get back to you, and don't really book you. So all of a sudden I tap into that feeling of the vibration of having a lot of money, a lot of sales and stuff. All of a sudden it's like, wow, every client is booking me, and every client months ago who say they were gonna book me, all of a sudden, like, reach out to me immediately and books me. Like, it's the difference between, like, being slippery, like, just kind of like whatever you want, it kind of a little bit out of your grasp, to it's just the tipping point where it just feels like everything is just going your way, because you're actually straight up in that vibration. Now, Jasmine, how do you feel about this? Does this make sense?
It definitely makes sense. And I kind of feel like if you're consistent with your practice in general, like it's really hard not to notice the difference in how your day to day goes and like specific desires that you have versus like when you actually put in good intention behind it versus like if you leave things like willy nilly and just like go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, because like Abraham Hicks says, like, if you're, and a lot of teachers say this, like, when you're not choosing, it's being chosen for you. You get kind of like the default experience. You get kind of like this very uh hectic experience, because there's a lot of vibration. There's a lot of, in any moment, there's a lot of potential vibrations and pathways, vibrational pathways for you to go down. And so when you choose, you anchor in that, and only those like it, for the most part, shows up. Now there is the clearing resistance factor, right? Where, sometimes a resistant vibration is more dominant, and you just have to clear on it a little bit. But aside from that, like, wow, choosing is the way. Like, choosing is the theme on
Yeah.
everything. I'm just choosing.
And I think the beauty
Yeah.
part too, it's like it's not just for yourself. Like let's say if you're gonna hang out like with your lover or like a group of friends or whatever, like you're going to a party, like you setting the intention to have like as much fun as possible or like whatever your desire is. Like I love that other people don't have to necessarily get involved. Like it's all you 100% of the way.
And especially when other people are involved, like, we think, okay, there's a limit to how we can create this reality, but that's what I found not to be true. So with your lover, with your family, with just, I don't know, any person, whoever, customers, like, I was dealing with some stuff with my dad, and it's just kind of like the same thing I've been dealing with. And I've always been like, oh, my family, they need to do a lot of inner work. And
Yeah.
it was like, okay, there's nothing we can do, I can do. They just have to, like, one day wake up and do the inner work. But then I had a realization one day. I was like, wait, no, that's not true. Because I can have anything I want in my vibration. And I was like, so take away the person real quick. So, like, let me take away my dad, take him out of the picture real quick, and realize, what has he inspired in me? Like, now I realize I want to have an amazing dad who is I am in harmony with, who gets me, whatever. So I activate that vibration, and all of a sudden, now that I've activated that vibration, that's all I get from my mom and dad now,
Hmm.
right? Because Abraham Hicks talks about, there is a every person has a range of potential within them, and whatever range shows up is what you activate, basically. So you draw out the range within them. So even your parents or your lover has the range to be, whatever
Yeah.
you sort of desire them to be, and but you have to activate that within yourself first. So,
Yeah.
when with other people, it's sometimes, it's easy to forget that, right? It's kind of like you get influenced by them, and you kind of forget that, oh, you can set the vibrations that you want to experience. And things will conform to it, and I'm gonna teach you how to do that.
And there's one thing I want to talk about, but do you want to get into
Hmm.
the kind of like the formula and steps first?
No, you talk.
Um, the one thing that I'm personally going through, so for those that don't know, I just quit my job. I'm on like my fifth week right now. And I have to say, dude, it's such a game changer to actually have time in the day to dedicate to like basically my alignment is my full-time job right now, along like with going to the gym and like I've been able to meditate like for at least a couple of hours each day now. So I guess I would want to talk about because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily get that privilege because they have work, they got school. So I completely understand like when you're in that state where it's like, or even I'm sure if like you're a parent as well, like you just have so much mental energy to dedicate to different things. What would you say is kind of like the best approach to that?
Perfect. So perfect. So, I have clients like this, right? They work very long hours and stuff like that. So just start by like looking at each kind of parts of your day and each event in your life, especially things that aren't going your way. So let's say you're someone with a very hectic job, and let's say you get off work and you still have to do like hours of like I don't know, just programming or something, right? And you hate it, right? Let's say after work you have to do like an hour or two of just some type of programming, and it's something you really hate. So before you do that, run energy. So before, like, let's say you're supposed to do the programming at like 7 p.m. So 10 minutes before that, relax and sit down and just feel your feel that, wow, this session with the programming is going so easy. Everything is taken care of so easily. It's effortless, too easy, enjoyable, and you just harness that vibration for 5, 10 minutes. It
Yeah.
depends on what it is, right? Because if it's something that, okay, it has a lot of resistance, like, if you just want to have a fun time with your friends, you just do a little bit of affirmations and it'll be a great time. But if you want to like change the entire way your job is, right? And you always hated this job and you want it to turn into like this utopia, it'll take a little bit more affirmations, right? So like before you do the thing that you don't want to do, like this programming thing, just sit there and just literally do 10 minutes of affirmations or visualizations or just feel it.
Hmm.
And I know that sounds like, oh, that's a lot, but that 10 minutes will ensure that the next 2 hours will become like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it might not even take 2 hours anymore. It might only take like 30 minutes. So don't say, oh, affirmation work is too much, because it'll always cut down on the time anyways. Like
Yeah.
it'll always just become the most efficient thing in the world.
Yes.
So what you're going to see is if you do that, so that's an example. Like if you're a student, right, and you have 3 hours of homework ahead of you, do affirmations like, wow, homework is a breeze. Homework is actually very interesting. My teacher was very generous. They gave me the easiest homework. Wow. Like, and even though this teacher is actually in reality not generous, and like you hate this teacher, and this teacher gives you a ton of homework, and they always do, but you tap into a different frequency, and all of a sudden this teacher is going to change, right? Because you activated that range with her. Now the rest of the class might not experience that. The rest of the class still hates her and gets a ton of homework, but all of a sudden you see things differently. You move dimensions just a little bit, so you experience things just a little bit. Things fall into place just a little bit differently for you. So you see homework differently. Somehow you see a way or something, a different pathway, and that 3 hour homework becomes like 20 minutes somehow, because it only takes a little bit of a dimensional shift, vibrational shift
Yeah.
for everything to shift. So, I mean, it's like anything. It's like a struggling relationship. Like you go out to dinner and then you just bicker or whatever, and you change that frequency a little bit. Just one little conversation in that dinner can change everything, can change the way everything else flows, right? But because you're in the vibration of it, you just say the right thing, and that changes everything. That turns into understanding, and all of a sudden, you guys feel closer. You guys feel resolved, and you're having a better time together. And now you're feeling good. All of a sudden, you order dessert, and that dessert is the best dessert y'all both ever had. And it's a mind blowing experience, and then like it just goes from there. So meaning, when you it's crazy how like when you tap into the vibration of it, of something, it just is a slight shift.
Yeah.
A slight shift turned this potential worst flight of my life to the absolute best experience I've ever had, right? So yeah. So yeah, and to keep up with that example, so let's say, yeah, like this person goes to school and then they hate school. They, get bullied every day, or, it's a very negative environment. So before you go to school, on a walk to the bus or on the drive to the school, take 10, 20 minutes or whatever, just 5 minutes,
Mhm.
run some energy. Like, wow, like everyone is so nice. Like all my classmates, everyone is so nice to me. Everyone treats me so well. They, whatever, whatever. I wish I knew this when I went through school.
I know,
But,
dude.
you know, so try this. So try this. Try this for 5 minutes and see, okay, wow, that made a huge difference. Or that's not enough. You see some shift, but that's enough. That's not enough. Then try 10 minutes. Wow, that's a way bigger difference. Then try 15
Mhm.
minutes. So that's the same thing. Let's say like weight loss, right? Like from no affirmations to doing affirmations is the biggest difference ever. You
Yeah.
notice that, wow, your appetite completely changes. You have the desire to go work out all of a sudden, even though you've never felt that way your whole life. And then, okay, you do 5 minutes affirmations. You're like, wow, this is good. But it's like, I'm still a little hungry sometimes. And then, like, it makes me overeat a little bit. So I'm a little bit inconsistent. And then you start doing 10-minute affirmations about, losing weight and stuff. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, this is perfect. Like, every day, like, I'm somehow able to diet so easily and work out so easily, very enjoyably. And it's happening every day. I'm not really getting hungry, blah, blah, blah. Everything just falls into place. So that's on every topic. So back to the school example, right? So this person, they're running energy before class because, they're getting bullied all the time. And all of a sudden, they're not getting bullied. But now let's say they have to go into this class where there's a teacher that is so strict, they hate it. But yeah, spend 5 minutes before class or spend that time where you walk from one class to the next, that time in between, to just do some affirmations. Like, wow, this teacher is amazing. Um, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then, they get out of school. Wow, like my teacher was amazing. The environment, like the classmates, wow, they've been amazing today. Like all of a sudden, whatever, whatever. And then, you go home, do the homework thing, whatever, whatever. Or, you go home, you don't like your family. So on the way back from the bus to um to the house before you see your family, run some affirmations on that as well, right? So I know this sounds like a lot, but basically do some energy work before anything, and it will shift, and you do that consistently. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is God level. This is where everything is going your way, and it's so fucking worth it. And just try it some for now, but because I have total free time, so I have nothing else better to do. And there's so many transit periods of my life. I'm driving to the mall or I'm driving wherever, so I just tap into the best version of that. Like they have a sale today, or they have the best book that I want, or I'm having the best time hanging out with my sister and whatever, whatever. So any problem you have, it's just vibrational, and you just need to turn it around. So doing more affirmation work really helps. And this is a big topic in your life too, right? So if you own a business, any type of business, it could just whatever it is, like do affirmations about it. Like, like me and Jasmine were launching a journal, a reality creation journal, right? And it's like the difference of us not doing affirmations versus doing affirmations about it would be night and day difference,
Yeah.
right? And there's steps of the way. So think about it this way. Imagine if reality is like a bunch of clay. Like vibration is like clay, right? And you get to mold this clay into however you want it, and you can color it, shape it however you want it. That's how vibrations is. So when you ask yourself how do you do this, just think of it as vibrational clay. And so this flight is like this flight experience or whatever. It was really like this deformed clay that I really hate. All of a sudden I'm molding into place. I want to be physically comfortable. So I spend like 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, affirmations doing that. And then, it's like, man, I really want to be entertained the whole way, like just constantly flowing, feeling good, one form of entertainment to the next. So I sculpted that way, and then like whatever, whatever. Oh, I want to have delicious food the whole time, and then wow. So now you're really giving this a lot of characteristic. So let's say like me and Jasmine, we want to launch this journal. Well, there's a lot of flavors that makes up this whole stew of this journal manifestation. It's not just one aspect, right? You can't just do general affirmations like, oh, this journal is selling well, whatever, whatever. That's great, but you can get a little bit more specific if you want, meaning okay, like I want to have a massive launch with so much support. You know, all of our listeners and followers really feel strongly about this movement, about this journal, and want to help support the journey. And there's a lot of people leaving a lot of reviews, amazing reviews. And then there's things like, wow, impact. Like this journal is changing so many lives. Like so, that's a different flavor, right? It's like if you're cooking a stew, this is the vegetables, and then these are the carrots, this is the beef, this is the stock.
Mhm.
And then and then we could tap into like, wow, me and Jasmine just constantly having the most creative ideas creating this journal, or like the whole process putting it up on Amazon and manufacturing it, whatever, goes so smooth and whatever, right? So yeah, like my full-time job right now is literally creating reality. I'm literally an artist, and reality is my creation, and I just really sculpt it however I prefer in every segment. And it's been night and day with my family. Like running that energy versus not running that energy has been a night and day difference. And all of a sudden, you're unstoppable. So all of a sudden, I know if I just do affirmations before flights like this, that it's gonna be amazing every time.
Yeah.
Every time before I see my family, if I'm running energy like this, all of a sudden, I feel like a master. I feel like the god of my reality, and that's
Yeah.
how you should be feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one thing I wanted to mention too, like especially for beginners, like I think it's important to realize that this isn't just a matter of like fake positivity, of just like doing affirmations of like, okay, yeah, it would be so wonderful. Everyone treats me so well. Everything like work goes easy, blah blah blah. My family gets along. It's like, wouldn't you want like I can imagine like especially for topics that people have a lot of resistance on, especially like family, might be work, money, whatever, relationships, weight. Um, it's not a matter of tricking yourself into positivity, but more like, isn't this what you want to happen? Isn't this what you would prefer? So like why not just go full force into it? I feel like a lot of people have that habit of like just like taking everything at face value of like, okay, like this teacher is a total asshole, so like they're never gonna change. Like my parents are so strict or like whatever, like they don't talk to me, whatever the case may be. Like I feel like a lot of people put this like untold restriction upon themselves. But it's like, no, like that's the whole point of creating a reality. It's like things are always fluid, nothing stays the same. And I love that you mentioned that of like tapping into the vibrational range of others. Like that's how people change, and especially for you. I love what you said too about like how like even with the teacher example at school, like maybe for other people it's they're still gonna be dicks or like they're struggling hella, but like for that's the whole point. Like for you, it's gonna change because you're actually putting into the work of molding your reality.
So it's like it's not about tricking your brain or tricking the
Mhm.
universe that like you have something that you don't. It's actually just the laws of the universe, and every moment you get to choose. You get to choose or not choose. If you don't
Yeah.
choose, you just get the random or the pre-existing resistance, right? So it's like all you got to do is choose for clear resistance and choose, right? So but basically see everything vibrationally. So you're just choosing the frequency that you want. It's not about tricking your brain or tricking the universe.
Hmm.
So you're just choosing what you want and you're holding that. And you're basically imagine right now if I'm holding the vibration of like this podcast doing well. Imagine if I'm holding it right now, I'm doing affirmations, or activating just that vibration. Imagine if like this vibration is becoming emitted from me. Like if I had an aura that is emitted from me, like this radio signal that is emitted from me. And if I just start doing that, it will just emit a little bit more and more and more and more and more. And then 30 minutes in, an hour in, I'm really radiating that frequency and it will dominate my reality. So that's very important. Like that's what you're doing. You're seeing this vibrationally. Don't see it from, oh, I'm rewiring my subconscious mind. None of that. You're just actually just radiating the frequency of what you want because this exact same thing is happening right now, but with the jumble mess of what you don't want. You're radiating a strong signal of what you don't want. So that's why we're gonna dive into how to do this in a bit. Jasmine, do you have anything you're about to say?
No, almost that.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna keep it simple. Um, The formula is very similar to what I've always talked about. It's clearing resistance and doing some type of manifestation work. Now, for the clearing resistance, I highly recommend present moment awareness, or focus wheels. But I think most people should do present moment awareness. And I'll link my YouTube channel. It's literally tons of content on that,
Mhm.
like literally tons of content. And I've been talking about that nonstop. So you want to be able to be present, because when you're present, you're able to release your negative thoughts, right? So I'm not, this channel is not about only doing positive thoughts. This channel is built upon the foundation of releasing your negative thoughts extremely effectively. And then from there, combining that with a strong positive activation practice and positive energy activation process, and you'll have mastery. So, yes, if you listen to any of my previous videos, all I talk about is how to be present and quiet your mind and creating the space to now activate the positive. So today I'm just mostly going to focus on the positive activation aspect, because you can literally look back on my content. You can go on my YouTube channel, click the playlist section, and find that I have a presence playlist, and I will link that. It will be a ton of videos on how to be present and quiet your mind, and I highly recommend that. Now, for the activation, it's very simple. I like to do affirmations, but you can do whatever you want. Just tap into the state of being of it. So, like I said, let's say I'm going to school, and like I said, before school, there is a bunch of kids who usually like to bully me or something. So this time around, on the bus ride there, let's say it's a 20-minute bus ride, I'm tapping into the vibration. I'm saying affirmations like, everyone is so nice to me. Everyone is so kind to me. Like, everyone loves being kind to me. Like, I feel so confident. I feel so protected. I feel so loved. I feel so safe. Um, Everyone around me loves me. And I just keep repeating that type of affirmations, that feeling for 30 minutes or however long it takes before I get to class. And so you can do affirmations, or you could do visualizations, or you could imagine an image, or you could just directly activate that feeling. Some people can just feel their way into it. Play with it. I like to do affirmations because I like to have precise words that help me mold the vibration of it. So however you want to do it is fine, but you know the manifestation techniques. Like, everyone knows manifestation techniques. But if all else fails, on a piece of paper, write down what you want to experience. Like, people are nice to me. I feel loved. I feel safe, and just keep repeating that. Just look at that. Look at that little piece of paper you wrote with the bullet points, and just read it nonstop. Repeat it for 20 minutes. Now we can get a little bit more flexible here, because let's say you care about two things. You care about school being easy and your teachers being amazing, and then you care about people being nice. So let's say you have 30 minutes before class, before your bus arrives, and you have to get in class. You have 30 minutes. So I will split that between, let's say you're really getting bullied. So I'll dedicate at least 15 minutes to, like, okay, people being nice, because that's like very dominant in your vibration of people not. So you need a little bit more energy flow. So I will do that. Do a little 15 minutes of okay, people are nice. And then you have 15 minutes left. Maybe uh, you know, 10 minutes of, like, oh, like, my teacher is amazing or whatever, and then another 5 to 10 minutes of, like, this day is so easy, class is so enjoyable, school is so enjoyable, magic is happening, like, we're having so much fun. And now you created an energy ball, and you flow through your day with a whole different vibration, and everything's going to change day by day by day. I would literally do this every day, because you're gonna have school every day, or a
Yes.
job or whatever. Just do it.
Yes.
Just fucking do it. And this is mastery. And you could do that, like I said, on topics like this, or you could do that on, like, money. I highly recommend doing money affirmations. This is another thing I learned. I just want to leave that here for people is, I was doing affirmations on, like, getting clients and stuff, but I wasn't doing money affirmations. So I was doing like getting clients and stuff, and it just felt like for a period of time, like, clients were hitting me up, but no one would really, like, book me. Like, my financial situation just would not change. And I started to add in money affirmations. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, now I'm accurately hitting this vibration, because all of a sudden, money feels like this thing that I'm always struggling with, to this thing where it's like, oh my gosh, I am the master of money. Money is every situation, whatever situation you can think of with money, all of a sudden goes my way instead of against me. And so now I do money affirmations. So it's like general, like I have money, I have so much money, like type affirmations. And like, let's say I do 30 minutes of that, and then I'll do like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of like specifics. Like, oh, I want coaching to do well. I want my book to do well. I want this journal to do well. And I might get like sometimes to that, the specifics. But if you want money, literally just straight up do money affirmations. And yeah, like that has been the biggest shift ever for me. Um, Yeah. So you could do that on big topics. Same with relationships. It feels like, wow, you people always do you wrong in relationships. You can never find the right men or women in your relationship. It doesn't go your way. You start to activate that vibration, and how much time you do per day is dependent on how much energy flow you need because of how much resistance you have. So that's very important. So like all of a sudden your love life feels like, wow, I've been like my whole life struggling with relationships. I don't get into relationships, whatever. All of a sudden it's like, wow, the right partners, whatever, just keep finding you, and the right situations keep falling. It's just tapping into the vibration that you want, and everything will start to go your way. It's like opening a portal, and you could do 5 minutes and open a regular size portal. If you keep doing it, the portal to the relationship, to the money, to the whatever job, like will just open bigger and bigger, and you're holding that portal open. So that new timeline fills in more and more. So of course, doing more affirmations always will flow in more and more because you're opening a bigger and bigger portal for that. But you play with it. You don't have to do that much, but just play with it. But just yeah, there is a effect, scientific effect, where more will give you like better results, especially on topics that you have more resistance with. Now, being present is very important part of this process, because if you're struggling with your negative thoughts all day, then nothing's gonna happen. Like, so a lot of people can tell you to affirm, right? But I am telling you to be present as much as you can all day, so you reach this place of mental peace and your mind chatter is quiet, and then you add this on top, and you will be the god that you are of your reality.
Perfect.
So thank you everyone for listening to this episode. I hope you implement it. Send in questions if you have it. um yeah, what do you have to say, Jasmine?
I think this is so good, dude. For real.
All right, cool. That's it. See y'all on the next one.
Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about present moment awareness and clearing resistance for rapid manifestation, I highly recommend getting this book. And if you really want to take your spiritual practice to the next level and accelerate your reality, I highly recommend working with me one-on-one. That will be by far the most powerful, transformative option you can choose with me. You can learn more about one-on-ones with me, link in the description below.